Welcome back, guys. Welcome. I know you're not tired of seeing my face. Yeah, I bring you so much excitement from Skill Acceleration Bootcamp. Yeah, where is my Sabi Nation? Where is my Sabi Nation? Where are the members of the Sabi gang? Show up, turn up, turn up, turn up, turn up. I want to see you in the comment section. Yes, guys, yes, guys. We are excited to be here again for another dose of excitement and knowledge, right? So we have our facilitator ready to dive into the session, and we want to really apologize for the lateness. Yeah, we want to apologize for the lateness. I want to say, yes, it means that you are going to experience something amazing yet again, right? So I know you've been learning a lot. I know you've also been uploading on all social media platforms. I know you've been tagging us and you've been using the relevant hashtags. I know you have been creating rich experiences for other people all out there. Also, do as much as reach out to these facilitators and connect with them, right? Reach out to them, connect with them. You can always report to them as to how far you've gone in implementing all that they have shared thus far. Guys, my name is Andrew Igbinereka. In case you do not know, my name is Andrew Igbinereka, and I'm the founder of Go A Bit Further Africa. And I'm excited to be a team member here at Skill Factory Africa. I'm excited to be doing this, and I want to give you the Sabi gang dance. Oh yeah. Mm, mm, mm. Welcome. Yes. I'm seeing you guys in the comment section. Our facilitator is awesome. He's amazing, and he's ready to tell us about project management and how it will help us to create more sustainable projects, create more impact, and make it last the test of time, make it to be sustainable and make it profitable. Guys, yes, finally, yeah, we are back. Bum, 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 bum. I hope you've had something to eat. I hope you are staying safe, and I hope you are ready. I know you are ready to enjoy yet another session again. Ladies and gentlemen, help me welcome our facilitator by name Kelvin Agbonselobo. He's an experienced project engineer with a demonstrated history of working in the oil and energy industry. He's strong engineering professional with over 9 years of experience in project management, successfully managed over 120 projects that cut across residential and commercial buildings and refined petroleum retail installations. He's a member of the Nigerian Society of Engineers and the Project Management Institute, Pennsylvania, USA. He possesses a Bachelor's of Engineering in Civil Engineering from Ambrose Ali University, Ekpoma, Nigeria, an executive master's in project management from Cube International, Dorset, UK, and a Master of Business Administration from the National Open University of Nigeria. He holds a certificate in risk management from the International Business Management Institute, Berlin, Germany, as well as other distinguished certificates in project management. Guys, you want to learn from this guy. You want to learn from this man. He has so much to give us. Yeah, he has so much to give us. He's married with two children, two cute little children, strongly believes that the key to success is facing one's challenge without sentiment, but with a will to accept failure, learn from it, and to overcome. Right, guys, we are set for another dose. Let's make welcome our facilitator, Mr. Kevin. Over to you, sir.
How are we doing?
We are doing well, sir.
Staying safe. That's great. That's great. It's good to be here. For me, it's a privilege to be part of such a wonderful program. And I'm saying thank you to Skill Factory Africa. It's a wonderful job you guys are doing, and I'm happy to be part of it. It's a privilege to share from my knowledge. I don't know if I would say it's so much knowledge or just a few years of experience, but it's a pleasure to be here. And we'll be talking about project management today. So I want to say to everyone who is here that sit down, relax, and enjoy this journey as I pilot you through project management. And I assure you that at the end of the day, you would be glad you were part of this training. I I think it is important that we understand that project management is not something we can learn in 1 hour. However, at the end of this entire training section, you'll be able to tell what project management is. You'll be able to function with it, carry on your project and run along with it. And it's definitely going to be a pleasing time for you. So I want to welcome you to this session specially, and I'll be using my slides. So I'll be sharing slides with you on project management, and I'll explain as we go by. And I'll expect your participation because I would be asking a question or two, and your participation will be deeply appreciated. So I look forward to the moment. So please, can I have my slides, please? Good afternoon, good evening, rather. Good evening. Jose Miguel Sierra, good evening.
Yes, sir. So your slide is up.
Good evening. Good evening, okay, rather. Okay. Good evening. That's good. Okay. Jose Miguel Sierra, good evening.
Yes, sir. So your slide is up.
Good evening, rather. Okay, that's good. Okay. So fine. Basically, I would welcome you again to project management session. Like I was introduced, my name is Kelvin Agbonseluo, and I'm here to take you through the journey as a pilot. So I would say sit back, relax, and enjoy the ride. So let's rock and roll. What are the objectives of this training? To have a section like this, we must know what we should get at the end of this session. And one of the things I believe we'll get is that we'll understand the definition of project. We'll be able to tell why projects are initiated. We'll be able to look through the project constraints. We would understand what are the success factors of project. We would get to know about project management and its importance. Then you as the project manager, you would understand your role, your qualities you need to possess and skills. We also look through the project life cycle. Then the real project management section, which is the project management processes. And we have the project management process groups and we have the project management knowledge area. So we'll be looking through that. Then after that, I'll give you some piece of advice from my personal experience managing projects. And I believe that advice will be useful to you. Then we can go into the Q&A session. So I'll start, but before I start again, I want to say this session would not teach you everything about project management. However, it will give you the understanding of what project management is, and it will help you run along with it when you are working on a project. So we move straight into the project section. What is a project? This is a question many people have asked themselves. Many people run projects and they don't even know they run projects. Well, according to PM Book Guide says a project is a temporary endeavor undertaken to create a unique product, service, or result. Now, if we look at this at the screen, we'll notice that we have the underlined word temporary. We have another underlined word unique. You see, these are the key things that defines a project. We also have the word create. These are key things that define project. Temporary means it's going to last for a period of time. It's not continuous. It's not going to. It has an end. Unique means it has never been created. It has never been done before. So that is what project management is all about. It's about doing things that have not been done before within a period of time and to satisfy your stakeholders while you meet your project objectives. So key points to note. First, I'll say a project is temporary, like we said. But what makes a project temporary is the fact that it has a defined start date and end date. So the project starts today, 25th of July, it should have an end date. That's what makes it a project. And that's what makes it temporary, like you can see here. Again, what makes that start and end date something to go by is because a project has a defined scope and it has allocated resources. So if you have a defined scope, if I say, oh, I want to create this product, I want to develop, build, or design a mobile phone, for instance, and I say I'll do this in 3 months. You see, so that is what project management is about. You have something you are creating, something that has not been done before. Another key point to note, like we said, is unique. Unique, something that has not been done before. It is not routine, neither does it have a repetitive output. What that means is that you don't do it over and over again. It's not something that has the same process that you keep doing over and over again, or rather, does it give you the same output? It doesn't give you the same output in the sense that for it to be a project, its output has to be unique. Yeah. So how do we really tell what a project is and what a project isn't? We'll look through an example, and I would appreciate your comments while we go through this example. We have A, designing, building up, testing a new specification of car in 6 months. That's A. Then we have B, manufacturing same specification of car in their thousands. Now we have option A and we have option B. And I want to ask you, which of these from the definition of project I've given is a project? I would be looking out for your comments. I'll be looking out for your comments. So you said Ogunkola said is A. Okay. Ogunkola said is A. Others were expecting others. So yes, P says is A, which is fine. But how sure are we that they are right? How sure are we that they are right? Now, if we go back to our slideshow, okay, this A, it's a project. Why is A project? Now, if we take the factors we've identified earlier, if we look at the underlined word, the first one, it says designing, building up, and testing. What does that mean? It means that we are creating something. We are designing, we are building up, and we are testing. That was one of the key words I mentioned. Again, it says a new specification. That means it's just coming up. It has not been there before. It's a new spec. So it's unique. It's not something that you've done before. And it says in 6 months. Yeah, in 6 months. You see, in 6 months. So if you look at these keywords, it means they are in line with our definition of project. So certainly designing, building up, and testing a new specification of car, it's a project. Now let's look at B. B says manufacturing same specification of car in their thousands. Now, what is manufacturing? Manufacturing is actually more like reproducing stuff in thousands, in large numbers. All right. Now, if that's the definition of manufacturing, it means that we are doing something that is routine. We are not creating something new. It doesn't have a definite end time. It is continuous. And the output can be seen under the same specification. Now, the same specification means that it is the same thing we have done before that we are doing again, which means that the output is what? The output is not new. It is the same output. So basically, that defines what a project is and what a project isn't. So B is not a project. And basically, operations are not projects, like maintenance services, manufacturing that we talked about, production, and so on, are not projects. They are not projects. A project should have a defined period, a defined time of completion. It should produce a unique product, and it must create something. So that is that. So project management cuts across many sectors, all sectors, in short, from engineering to health to finance to hospitality to agriculture, etc., etc. You see, we have projects in all areas. In the past, we used to think project is just construction works or building something and all that, but it's different. Project management actually cuts across all areas, like the design and building up of the phone. It's a project. Designing your software is a project. Apollo in the moon, Apollo 12 in the moon was a project that was arranged to ensure that he gets there. And of course, building, construction, and so on. Those are all projects. But again, we could ask ourselves, why are projects initiated? Why are projects initiated? The thing is, projects are initiated to meet a need. Yeah, they are initiated to meet a need. When there is a need, it could result in a project, because to meet the end of that need, it means you have to come up with that which the need is requesting. Yeah, so projects are initiated to meet needs, like I said. I'll give you some example. For example, new technology. New technology, I recall, I guess we all recall when we used to use the phone booths, the landlines, and all that. Yeah. But when there was a need to move on, they introduced the mobile phone. And now the mobile phone, it's a new technology. It is different from what we used to have. So new technology is the reason why projects are initiated. Also, we have market demands. Market demands, we use the phone as an example. Okay, some people are saying, oh, these phones, the landlines are not portable, they are not convenient. I have to go to the phone booth, I have to use my coins and all that. Yeah, so it is market demand that could also lead to a project, which is a project of developing a mobile phone. Okay, it could also be customer request. Now we know about people who love exotic cars, for instance, and they actually want something that is unique to them. So a customer could request and say, oh, I need this specification of a Rolls-Royce Phantom, and he gets it. That is the reason why that project will be initiated. Again, is competitive force. Sorry. Competitive force is basic too. When you have a product, you have competitors, and you want to outshine your competitors, you look at those things that your customers would need that would differentiate you or stick you out from your competitors. So that is why we could, that could also give birth to a project. Material issues. Maybe we've been using the same materials for doing a particular thing, and these materials are gradually getting scarce, and there is a need to diversify or to look somewhere else. A project would be born. Again, business needs, environmental issues, environmental pollution could lead to remediations, and remediations is a project. Now we have stakeholder demand. A stakeholder could say, this is what I need. For stakeholders, we'll be explaining stakeholders further as we go through this section. Also, legal requirement. Remember the Boeing 737 MAX, yeah, that crashed in Ethiopia. You see, the plane crashed, and different countries started saying, oh, we don't want this plane to fly our airspace. We don't want our citizens to go on this airplane. And what happens? It was withdrawn. Okay, so but Boeing, of course, is going to look at the legal issues that are associated because laws are passed, government has said this, and they are going to say, okay, how can we make this better? How can we design something else that could make this Boeing 737 become a success? Okay, it could be social need like road construction. There's a need to develop an area, improve the road, or it could even be as little as a disabled toilet in a facility. Maybe you have customers and you say, oh, I have some disabled customers and I want to meet their needs. What can you do? You just go about the whole disabled toilet installation, which is also a project. So basically, that is what gets a project. Okay, so I'll take a break and look through our comments and see. I hope we are getting in well. I hope you're enjoying the session, and I hope things are as we want them. So, okay, we'll go back to the training, and we'll be looking at project constraints. Okay, project constraints. We've talked about project and we have an understanding of what project is. Now we are going to talk about constraints. What are constraints? Constraints are limitations. Constraints are restrictions. That's things that limit you or restrict you from doing what you want, right? So project constraints are factors that limit a project, okay? And we're going to use the triple constraint triangle, also known as the iron triangle, to explain the project constraints, okay? So now this is a triangle. On the left side, we have time. Again, we have cost and we have scope. So all these are factors that actually affect your project. All these are factors that actually affect your project, because recall we said a project should be delivered within a period, right? We also said the scope is defined, right? We also said the cost. Okay, we didn't talk about cost, but cost also is vital. You see, cost could affect every one of these other factors, from time to scope. And the essence of this triangle is to tell you the impact of the time, cost, and scope on your quality, on your project requirement, on the things that your project stakeholder, your project owner, or project sponsor expect of your project. Now, we do a quick one, a quick explanation. Let's say we decide to reduce the time, okay? What happens when we reduce the time? We reduce the time and you can see the cost increases, right? You reduce the time, the cost increases, because if you want to make sure you deliver your project on time, you have to add additional resources. And additional resources means additional cost, okay? So that is the relationship between the three factors in on the triple constraint triangle, okay? So we're back. Again, if we decide to say, okay, we want to increase the scope, the project owner says, oh, I want something new, I want something extra, by the way, and we say, okay, let's increase the scope. What happens when we increase the scope? You see, you have more time. When you increase the scope, you will need more time because you have more to do. And of course, when you have more to do, you would also have more to spend on, okay? So that's about that. And you see, as we move these triangles, as we move this item, it affects the quality. The area of the triangle reduces, because anything you do in terms of the time, the cost, and the scope, it affects the quality of your job. It affects the quality of your project, okay? So quickly, this is the triple constraint triangle, but the constraint in project management doesn't end here. It doesn't end with time, cost, and scope, okay? We have other constraints. What other constraints affect both quality or time or cost and all that? We have time, we have scope, which we've talked about, we have cost, which we've talked about, we have quality, which we've talked about. Now, resources. Like I said, if we increase the time, if we reduce the time, we'll need more resources. Now, if we need more resources, what happens? It means that we would have so many people on that project. And what happens? We also have risk involved. So risk is a constraint, resources is a constraint, because risk can actually change your project. It can change your project. Or affect your project rather. Let's take, for example, projects that were ongoing pre-COVID-19. Now, COVID-19 is a risk that I believe most companies didn't plan for, okay? Most companies didn't plan for that. But here we are, all right? And what happens to all projects running at this time? You see companies closing up, you see people working from home. So in general, these are the constraints we have in project, from time to cost to scope to quality to resources, okay? So we move on. Factors that determines the success of project. What are the factors that determines if a project is successful? Now, project managers, don't be angry with me, but the fact is that you are not the one who determines whether your project is successful. You can only say your project is successful if it is delivered at the right cost, if the quality is as per the project requirements, if it is delivered on time. Again, if it aligns with the business case. Now, what is a business case? A business case is the justification for the project. I'll take an example. I read in one of our dailies about the Enugu and Enugu Makodi Meduguri rail, yeah, which was planned in 2011, and actually the project started in 2015 or so, or thereabout. Now, the need for that project was to take people from Port Harcourt down to Meduguri, I guess. So what's the project status as of today? The last time I read about that project, the project is being closed. Is being closed and probably re-awarded. So now, can we say that that project is in alignment with the business case? Can we say that that project has met the need for which it was? Certainly not. Okay, so that is the factor. That is one factor that determines whether your project is successful. That you initially planned to achieve, did you achieve it? Did you meet the need? The need you started the project for. Action. Now, satisfaction, I would like to talk about who stakeholders are. Who is a stakeholder? A stakeholder is anyone who will be affected by the outcome of the project. Okay, so anyone your project affects is a stakeholder. Okay, so what should the project manager do? His stakeholders on his project. He should plan how to manage it. He should have a project stakeholder management plan. Okay. He should also monitor stakeholders' engagement. Right. So the fact is that sometimes we say someone is not a stakeholder because we feel the person doesn't have any impact or so much impact on the project. Okay, I had a project I ran through, I think sometime in 2018, 2019, yeah. And you know, when I looked at all the stakeholders, when I tried to identify all the stakeholders, I missed just one stakeholder, which it's funny, I actually missed it. And it's the community. You see, if you have a road construction going through a community, the community is a stakeholder. All right. So you have the project owner, you have the project team, you have the project sponsor and all that, the functional manager and all that. But all these people, all these stakeholders have different impacts. Okay. So we're going to note some things. Stakeholders can be positive or negative. And I'll give you an example why stakeholders can be positive or negative. The truth is that there are some people who don't want that project to succeed. Okay. Now, when your project is not succeeding, you could say, oh, like Africans, like we do, oh, maybe it's the winch, the wizard in my village and all that. But no, you could check your negative stakeholders. An example of negative stakeholders is I recall when they were constructing the Benin Ore Road, and we heard about people not wanting the projects to be done because they had to sell their stuff by the roadside because of the potholes and all that. You see, that certainly will be the community. And the people in the community rather. So you see, the people in the community, they are stakeholders, right? And they would likely, in this case, be a negative stakeholder, right? So in a nutshell, we would say stakeholders have to be satisfied, but not all stakeholders can be satisfied. If your road construction is completed, those who don't want it to hold would not be happy, right? Yes, so they are not satisfied. Okay, those who are the project owner, the project sponsor might be happy with your project, but the negative stakeholders might not be. But that doesn't mean your project has failed. It simply means that you in life you can't satisfy everyone. Okay. Again, I said not all stakeholders have the same power or authority. Now, you cannot compare the example I gave, you cannot compare in that case the community to the the project owner. Yeah. The community, though they don't want the project to hold or they don't want the project to be completed, there is nothing they can do about it, really. Another example we can use is workers working in a project. You have workers working in a project, and I can tell you that some workers don't want that project to end because that is where they get their daily bread. Now, though they don't want the project to end, but they have to get the job done, right? They have to get the job done. And at the end of the day, you find out that they have no impact or minimal impact in the completion of the project. So stakeholder satisfaction is another factor that determines whether your project is successful or not. So we go back, okay? We looked at the definition of project, right? We've looked at that. We've also looked at the projects, why projects are initiated. We've looked at project constraints. We look at project success factor. Okay, I hope we are following, right? I hope we are following. I hope we are getting the vibe. Yes, 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 we are. Okay, that's great. So we move to the next because we really don't have the luxury of time. I wish I had more time, but well, that is what all project managers they wish for. They wish they have more time. So we are done with definition of project, why projects are initiated, project constraint, project success factor. So we move to project management and its importance. Project management and its importance, we'll look through that. But what is project management? Project management, according to PM Book, says is the discipline of initiating, planning, executing, monitoring, and controlling and closing up your project or closing the work of a team, because it's a team that manages the project to achieve specific goals and meet specific success criteria. What I mean that projects have project requirements that must be met to say, okay, we have completed this project in line with what we plan to do. Okay. It also says it is the application of knowledge, skills, tools, techniques to project activities. That the sequence of activities you have, it is applying, project management is applying the knowledge, the skills, the tools, and techniques to meet the project requirement. Okay? So I believe we have an understanding of what that is. Now, projects are managed using frameworks and methodologies. Frameworks and methodologies, those are the ways you can manage a project. So I'll explain. What is a framework? A framework is a loose but incomplete structure which leaves for room for other practices and tools to be included, but provide much of the process required. That means the framework more like gives you an idea. It gives you, just like the frame structure. When you are constructing for engineers, I believe they would be aware that we have what we call frame structures. Now, frame structures is building the constructing a building using the structural elements like the beam, the pillar. Those are the things you do first. Now you have a frame. Then later on, you can start introducing your blocks and all that, okay? So that is just the same thing we're talking about when we say framework, okay? It tells you what to do, but it gives you room to introduce something. Like you can introduce agile into a framework, okay? You can introduce it into your framework of probably the PM book, okay? Then also we have methodologies. We have methodologies, and methodologies is a set of principles. Now, there are principles and tools and practices which can be used to guide a process. Now, they can say you look at the methods that have been used, okay, to achieve your particular goal. An example of a framework is the PM book, like I said. An example of methodologies are Prince2 and Agile. Okay, so like I said, you could incorporate Agile into, I think, for software development or so, if I'm right, that's what happens sometimes. Okay, we move. Let's talk about a brief history of project management. We recall the Egyptian pyramids. Yeah, the Egyptian pyramids way back was actually probably at that time would not be seen as project management, but actually it was project management. These are project management in ancient times. Okay, we have the Great Wall of China. We have the Gantt chart. Now, the Gantt chart introduced by Henry Gantt is like was like a revolution. In short, it is arguable to say that it made a big impact in project management. Then, of course, we have the modern project management, which started in the 50s. Okay? So project management began in the 50s. However, there have been some form of project management in early civilization. For those who know about the scripture, we recall there's a verse, I think somewhere in Luke, that says, before you start up a project, who builds a house without first sitting down and checking the cost? Okay, for me, that's also project management. Okay, so that is the brief history of project management. So we quickly move to the importance of project management. And the importance of project management is to ensure that you put a smile in the face of your stakeholders. And how can you put a smile in the face of your stakeholder? It is simply delivering your project in the fastest possible time, delivering a cheap project, and delivering a good project. A project that is good is a project that meets the project's requirement. It meets the quality standards, okay? So this is basically, I just want to use this to explain the importance of project management. I won't waste much time on this because we have so many other things to talk about. Now, okay, now we need a project manager to get this importance. We need a project manager to put these things together to deliver a successful project. So yes, project management is important. That's why people use it to run projects, okay? But we need a project managers that we need you and me to apply our skills, our knowledge, our skills, our methodologies, experience, okay, tools and techniques to plan in sequence, and monitor these project objectives. Because project objectives or project activities are usually in sequence. They go from one step to the other, and so on and so forth. But the goal is to achieve what the desired results, which is meeting the project objective. So that is the importance of project management. So we know what project management is. As the project manager, what is your role and responsibility? What are the qualities and skills that you need? So let us look closely through these slides because it is important that we as project managers know what our roles and responsibility are. Because sometimes we wish those roles were not ours. I can tell you from experience, because sometimes it could be a lot. So one of the role of the project manager is on activity and resource planning. Yeah, planning activities, how the activities will go, the resources needed for the activities, and so on. Also, organizing, motivating, and leading the project team. Now, the project manager is the team lead of the project team, right? He's the leader of the project team. And what is it about a leader? A leader is someone who takes responsibility. A leader is someone who who encourage his people, who encourage the team, right? So that is a leader. Also, controlling time management. It is your responsibility as the project manager to control the time. So you must monitor your schedule, check if things are going as planned, and so on and so forth. Also, cost. Now, your project owner or sponsor does not want you coming back to say, oh, the cost, it has to go up, we need to spend more, and so on and so forth. Because there was poor cost estimation or poor budget planning. Okay, ensuring customer satisfaction, that is your goal. And I want to tell us as young project professionals that you can't just do or run a project and you are satisfied, but your customer is not satisfied. Then you have done the project for yourself. Okay, so project is about satisfying your customers, right? Analyzing and managing project risk. Now, project risk is something I cannot discuss in details today, but it's something, if you have the opportunity, you should try to read about. Okay, it's a key part of the project because risks are uncertainties, and sometimes we just take risks as, oh, things that are bad. But no, risk could be a threat or it could be an opportunity, right? So there are some risks that you can cash into and make some savings. There are some risks you can cash into and save some time, okay? Again, you have to monitor the progress. Now, what is the essence of planning if you are not going to monitor the plan closely to ensure your project doesn't fail? So monitoring of project as the project manager is very, very key. Managing reports and documentation, very necessary, because you don't manage projects using body language. Someone does not tell you come to, or you are designing a phone, someone comes in and say, just add this to it. No, it doesn't work like that, right? So you need to have documentations of change requests, documentation of your various initiation management plan, risk management plan, quality management plan, and so on, right? So basically, that is your responsibility. So in a nutshell, I would say the project manager is responsible for the planning and organizing resources to successfully complete a project, basically. But yeah, we've said these are the responsibilities and role of a project manager. But if we say these are the responsibilities, the project managers must have the right skills to perform these responsibilities. So we'll go to the PMI talent triangle. Now, the PMI talent triangle talks about what the skills the project manager should possess to successfully run a project. Now, it talks about technical project management skills, strategic and business management skills, leadership skills, like I explained earlier, right? So these skills are skills or talents that the project manager needs to be able to run through or carry out these activities. So we'll explain in details strategic and business management, right? Benefits management and realization, business acumen, business mode. To be a project management, you must understand the business. You see, you must understand the business, because when you understand the business, that you can think the way the business is thinking. Okay, you can think the way the business is thinking. You can also, as another thing you need to have is customer relations and satisfaction. So you must be able to relate to the projects, relate with the project stakeholders, right? You must be able to satisfy their needs and so on. We have many others, industry, knowledge of industry, industry knowledge and standards. Of course, you must know the specification. Let's say you are running a project on construction. You must know, for example, the grade of concrete you would use. Okay, you must know the various grade of concrete, and you must know the mix ratio that forms up that concrete, right? So that's for that. So quickly, we'll go to leadership. Now, leadership, like I said, a project manager must be able to lead the project team. And when you say lead, leadership, in leadership, you must not run away. You cannot say, I'm tired. I can't do this anymore. I've had enough. No, you would have challenges, but you can't say that as a leader. Because if you say that, what would the project management team do? So the skills you need to have in terms of leadership includes brainstorming, coaching. You must be able to mentor and encourage your team members. Let them know, yes, there are challenges, but we can overcome. Yes, you are working hard, but know that your hard work will only mean something if the project stakeholders are happy, right? So you must be able to influence people. You must be able to do a lot of things, right? And secondly, you have the emotional intelligence. Luckily, on this skill acceleration bootcamp, you have some of these skills that you can get from here. Like emotional intelligence is something that is being taught here. Negotiation is something that we're carrying out in this bootcamp. Now, I want to say to project managers, the first time to young project professionals, the first time I saw this, I looked at it and I almost gave up on project, right? I almost gave up on projects and I said, how do I get all these skills? But most of these skills, you already have them. All you need to do is when you start knowing more about them, you get to understand. So we quickly move. We have done definition projects. We have done why projects are initiated.
Awesome.
We've done
That's been awesome.
project experience. We've done project success factors, project management and its importance, the project manager, and roles, qualities, and skills, right? So I would like to see my people. That's good. So hope we are coming in well on this. Hope we gain something and hope it's fun, right? I see you.
Thank you very much, sir.
Yeah, thank you so much. I see you.
Thank you so much,
Yomi.
sir.
Thank you. Thank you.
Sir, we'll quickly want to take questions because we are running out of time.
Wow, that I used just minutes. I have other things to say, unfortunately.
Okay. Okay.
So I should the slide, right?
Okay, let's give you 5 minutes to run through them, sir, please.
Wow. Okay.
And I'd like to also ask on behalf of the Sabi gang to find out if we can have access to the slides. Is it possible?
Of course. It's always a privilege to share. So I can always send it across to my people. Like
okay. Awesome. Awesome. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much, sir. So we'll just give you 5 minutes to run through, then we'll share the document with them so they can also go through it in their leisure time.
Fantastic.
Thank you very much.
So unfortunately, we're just going into the major aspect of the project, right? So project life cycles are in 4 phases. You have identifying, planning, execution, and closing stage. And you also have the monitoring and controlling that runs through the entire phase. Now, the project life cycle is just like a human being. A human being is born, he sits, he talks, he walks, and so on. So that is various stages for the human, right? So these are the various stages of a project. Identification stage, phase, planning phase, execution phase, closing phase, and you have the monitoring phase that cuts and controlling phase that cuts across all this. Now there are different types of project life cycle. You have the predictive life cycle, you have the interactive and incremental life cycle, you have the adaptive life cycle, and so on. Okay? So we don't have time to explain this, but you will have the time. So quickly, we go to project management processes using the PGKA mapping. Now, what is PGKA mapping? The PGKA mapping is PG represents project management knowledge area. Sorry, PG represents group, while KA represents knowledge area. Right? Now you have 10 project management knowledge areas, and you have 5 project management process groups. The intersection is the process, right? The process, the project management process for that particular stage. You can see we have project charter on the initiation stage, identifying of stakeholders. We have so much under the project planning because, like they say, failure to plan is definitely planning, right? So that is why you must plan your project properly. In terms of execution, you must execute your project, right? You must execute your plan. And you have monitoring and controlling. As you are executing your plan, you must monitor the project requirements, you must monitor the schedule, you must look through your costs, you must ensure that everything are going as planned, and you must close your project. So that's basic say. I would have loved to explain this more in details, but we are short of time. And like I said, for you to have a successful project, your project stakeholders must be happy. And to make you happy, I would have to end the slide here. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Mr. Kelvin. We are really excited to have you. We've had a lot of comments. We've been going through the comments. You know, someone said that you are really amazing with the way you are dishing out the value. We've seen the engagement, we've seen the interaction, and you know, from the questions that's been asked, you have provided answers even right before the question has been asked. Thank you very much for your time. We are really excited to be doing this. We hope we can do this again, right? We are excited that we'll also have access to the documents to share with the Sabi Nation. Thank you very much, sir. Do you have any final words before we move on to the next section? Do you have any final word that you want to leave, peradventure, for someone out there who is trying to venture into project management, or for someone who wants to start a project but doesn't know how to go about it? Do you have a quick one, sir?
So it will be fast. I have functionals basically is I think I have an issue, but basically what okay fine, what I'm going to say to project managers is simple. Own your project. Own your project. The project is yours and it's your responsibility to own the project, right? Secondly, you can't run away from
Yeah.
challenges. You can't run away from challenges. You have to face them heads on. Okay? And how can you do this? Is to brainstorm or consult with the project management team, right? Again, don't accept failure. The fact that your one project fails does not mean other projects will fail, okay? So
Yeah.
that is my little piece of advice for your profession, and I wish you the very best.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. We are excited to be doing this. We are going to, because we know that these guys, we have a lot of questions. We have a lot of questions. Some of the questions are coming up, but we do not have enough time to attend to all the questions. So we are going to be redirecting that energy, that vibe, that drive. We're going to be redirecting that drive to your Instagram handle, where you are going to be engaging with this young professionals who are going to be asking their questions and getting answers, hopefully from you.
Yeah.
Thank you very
It
much,
will
sir.
Thank
Would
you.
also be waiting to receive the document as you've promised, so that we can
Right.
now share with the community.
Great. That would be great. I'll send you immediately after this session.
Thank you very much, sir. It's not
Thank
every
you.
day we see. It's not every day we see people who would willingly give their heart and their knowledge to seeing that other persons are better, that other persons can equally contribute value to the society. Thank you very much, sir. We at Skill Factory Africa, we celebrate you, and we look forward to doing more and more exciting things with you, sir.
Pleasure is all mine. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Hello, guys. So let's head on to our Instagram page and let's begin to pour out all that we've learned through this 3 power pack session. Guys, let's go on Instagram. Let's use the hashtag, the relevant hashtag. Ensure to use the relevant hashtag Sabi Gang, Sab 2020, Sab Bootcamp. Ensure that you are also following us on our social media handles, and ensure you are following all our facilitators and that you are drinking from their bowl of wisdom. Thank you very much. It has been amazing. I know it's time for you to get something quickly to eat, right? Because we are coming back live again 6 p.m. Don't miss that session. The person who's going to be coming up is an amazing individual, and he's going to be serving us so much. So hopefully I see you there. Stay tuned and remain blessed.